the doctor, they brought me to the hospital. The doctor thought my appendix was bursting.
Yes.
And then they took like an x-ray of my stomach.
Ooh.
And he said in Hebrew to my mother, "Humalebe kaka." Do you know what that means?
No, but I know
He's
what
full of
caca
shit.
means.
Literally, that's what he said. He's full of shit. You could see on the fucking x-ray, there was like a log of shit the size of a ruler, like in this like little like 12-year-old boy.
Hi, my name is Tam. I'm a writer and a comedian. And when I was a teenager, I had a bat mitzvah and a quinceañera, which I combined into a batzañera. Now, I'm talking to my favorite writers, actors, and comedians about their coming-of-age ceremonies as we remember what it felt like to supposedly become an adult. This is Bless These Braces. My guest today is a writer and an actor. He's been on Big Mouth, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and Happy Endings. He also appeared on Curb Your Enthusiasm and The History of the World Part 2 as a special dreidel. Sorry, a space dreidel.
That's correct. But still, both. You could be both.
A special space dreidel. Yeah. Welcome, everyone. Gil Ozeri.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Gil feels like a person that I would really want to be my friend.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And it's just because
we
we're wearing
the same clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel like we could be like cousins or siblings.
I know.
What is you're Jewish?
I am Jewish.
What from where?
Okay. Well, I grew up in New York.
Okay.
My father is a Yemenite Jew.
Okay.
So his family is originally from Yemen.
Okay, so is it Sephardic?
I guess they wouldn't. They would. I think they would have like they would want to specify that they're Yemenite Jews.
Okay.
My mother's family's from Poland originally.
Okay.
But ended up in New York.
For me, it's Poland from my mom's side.
Okay, well, maybe we are related then.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then from my dad's side, weirdly enough, I don't know exactly.
Okay.
I know Turkey.
Okay.
But then again, I'm not sure if like did my great grandfather like or before come from like the Spanish Inquisition.
Okay.
Like not that he was the but did he go to Turkey, or there's also been talk of them like coming from India.
Okay.
So I really am not sure, but the last name is Yahia.
Yahia. And
which
what is that Turkish?
I think so.
Okay.
Yes. I don't know. I did 23andMe and there's a lot of like North Africa.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm scared to do
sure.
it. I want to do it.
Are you scared because like they'll have you on record?
Yes, that's why I'm scared.
I kind of
but
regret
I'm sure they
it.
already do. I feel like everyone
Probably,
does. Yeah.
but then you'll get to find out if you have a bunion or not too. As if,
really?
like in case it's really weird.
23andMe tells you about bunions?
It says you're like likely to have a bunion. You're likely to be like have an allergy to bee stings.
Oh, okay.
If you snore.
Like, oh, okay. What you're prone to? Do you snore?
I don't snore.
Okay.
My husband doesn't snore. Hi, babe. My sister snores when she drinks.
Okay. My wife recently, I shouldn't throw her under the bus,
Well,
but I will.
Okay.
My wife recently started snoring. This is like a recent thing.
Is it annoying?
I find it both cute and
Yes.
irritating.
I really hope I don't snore ever, but if I do, then what can you fucking do? My husband knows a guy whose wife tapes his mouth shut at night.
That feels very dangerous.
Very dangerous, but I just heard there are some things that are like these strips that like it is actually good for
you can
you.
okay to tape someone's mouth shut.
Yeah.
Wow. Maybe
and
I should
their
be
nose
doing that.
too, and then you just kill
Do you
them.
tell the person before you do it, or you just
No,
fucking
you wait
do
till
it?
and then they wake up strapped to the bed with
Yeah,
duct
exactly.
tape. Okay, so yes.
Like all over the place.
All
Yeah,
over the
Ozeri,
place.
I think it means from the town of Ozer, which means like to help. But that's like a Yemen. It was a Yemenite town.
Where? I don't know where Yemen is.
Yemen is under Saudi Arabia. So
I have to tell you,
south.
The other day, I took my dad to a lung doctor, and the doctor was from Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
And when we told him our last name, he said, Yahia is a very common Saudi Arabian name.
Oh, wow.
That means like the Messiah.
Uh-huh.
So weird.
Yeah. That must give you some sort of confidence too.
I feel like we are and then he said to my dad, and you have cancer. No, I'm just kidding. That didn't happen. I don't know why I said that. Oh God, please forgive me.
Sometimes you're just tempted. You got to make the joke.
I
you
have
know,
to.
even if it might cause
Yeah.
some like
I remember when I started going to Hebrew school and like learning about the Holocaust and stuff.
Did you go in Argentina?
Yes,
Okay.
I went to Hebrew school up until like first grade,
But
then I would full time.
Okay.
And then I kept going to this thing called Hebraica, which I don't know what it means, but it's a Jewish organization where I would go like on weekends and stuff.
And what you learned just about like Judaism and
Yeah, we
Eid Hamantash
learned.
and stuff? Yeah.
We like cooked dishes. I remember they showed us yentl.
Okay.
Of
course.
One time,
That's part of any, like, you have to learn about
Yes.
yentl.
And then one day we made gnocchi,
Okay.
which is not Jewish.
No, it's a very Jewish dish.
And then we learned about the Holocaust, and I came home that night, and I developed like an OCD problem. I should be interviewing you, and now I'm just like
No,
ranting,
it's
but-
so funny to me that because the three pillars of Judaism are gnocchi, yentl, and the Holocaust. That's what you know.
I learned about the Holocaust, and then I came home, and for a year, I would have to say, I don't like Hitler, I don't like Hitler, I don't like Hitler.
Oh, like an OCD kind
Yeah,
of like.
before I fell asleep.
Gotcha.
And then I would say, and thank you, God.
What did you think would happen if you didn't say that?
I thought that either there would be another Holocaust or that I would die of cancer.
Wow. So cancer has made its way.
There's
It's
cancer.
cancer a lot in your
There's a lot of cancer. My sister also had OCD. My mom would tell us that if you kept things in and didn't express your feelings, you would get cancer.
Okay, so that was
So-
sort of like part of it. It's so funny
Yes.
to me that if like a Holocaust did happen again, that someone would like knock on your door and be like, "Did you say you didn't want Hitler to come?" And you'd be like, "Oh fuck, I forgot. I
With a
forgot."
mouthful of gnocchi.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. Anyways, I don't know how we got there, but yeah, you
Mhm.
went to
You're-
Hebrew school
I
too.
did. I went to a school called Solomon Schechter. It's
Uh-huh.
like a Jewish day school in
Okay.
Queens. They're like all over the states. And so yeah, till 8th grade. And also like my family is, pretty Jewish. They celebrate like most of the holidays and stuff like that.
Shabbat every Friday.
I didn't. My parents were brought up like that, but
Mhm.
we sort of sometimes, did
Yeah.
Shabbat, and we're sort of, on the border of secular and conservative, I would say, which is,
Sure.
yeah,
It-
you find
in-
less and less of people these days.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In Argentina, we did all of that. And then when we moved to the United States, it was just kind of like, I think it was like
You dropped it.
adapting to be an immigrant was just
Right.
like
You're sort
too
of
much.
assimilating.
Yeah,
Do you miss it?
I really do, and I've been getting into it lately
Yeah.
a lot.
No, yeah, I find having a day that is like dedicated to like just dropping all technology and
Yeah.
stuff like that and like separating yourself and
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, oh wow, that's cool that it's built into the religion.
I'm into it, and we've been trying to host Shabbat dinners, like even
Those
if
are
we
nice
do
too. Yes.
That's the thing. It's
Yeah.
just like it's nice, and it reminds me. I miss my they're all dead.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I mean, like
I hope it wasn't recent.
No, they died
Okay.
so long ago, and they blessed us with dying young
Uh-huh.
and not with like a nightmare of taking care of them.
Oh,
You
okay. So
know?
not cancer, essentially.
No, they almost all of them died of
Okay.
but it was quick.
I now know why it's like weird. I hope we come back to cancer, by the way, like 10 more times in this.
Uh,
But they died young, you're saying.
but they died young before they were a burden on us.
Okay.
You know?
Yes.
But I remember like my grandma, we moved her to the US. She was like 80 or something. And
Okay.
it was like we knew she was gonna die. And like the day she arrived, she broke her hip and she didn't have insurance.
Oh man.
So we like went to the doctor. They gave her a hip replacement. And then we all pretended like we weren't her family so they wouldn't make us pay. And we pretended like we were like people from her temple
Oh, okay.
to whenever we'd come
Did it
visit.
work?
Yeah, no one paid it. It's all on the California taxpayers. But I miss my grandparents so much and doing the Shabbat dinners and like eating the food
Yeah.
that my grandma would make. It just,
Uh-huh.
makes-
Are there like special Argentinian Jewish dishes?
I honestly think they're the same as what you had, which
Okay.
is like, and we had the Sephardic food plus the Ashkenazi
Gotcha.
Jew, Jew food.
Jew food, yeah. The
What did you
Jude.
eat? Like,
Well, like on my mother's side, it's like the dry Eastern European food. And
yes.
on my dad's side, it's all like Yemenite food, which is a lot of bready stuff
Yeah.
like jehnoun and malawach,
Yep.
like stuff like that. Kubane, which is just like there's a lot of doughy dishes that are really, really good.
Flaky dough,
Flaky
right?
dough.
Or
Well, they're like soft and like oily, and yes. Well, flaky dough on the malawach is flaky dough.
yes.
Yes.
We would have bollos. Well, also, like, I don't know if we pronounce them different in
Uh-huh.
Argentina, but
Okay. Yeah,
burecas,
burekas, yeah.
bollos, and then on my mom's side, it was like the wetter, like the gefilte,
Yeah,
which
like stinky.
I don't
You're
eat
not
fish.
into.
Do
You don't
you like?
I still like eat it. I can't go to like herring. Like that's too much
Me
for me.
neither.
It's like what the Jesus Christ.
It's
This is like you
it's
got to be like serious about like stinky fucking fish to have like schmaltz like
no.
doused in mayonnaise. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very my mom's side.
Yeah, yeah.
I love fucking with my husband
Uh-huh.
by telling my family that he loves gefilte,
And
and
to
then
keep serving
he
it
has
to him.
take a bite, and I just watch him suffer.
When I used to have friends come over to fuck with them, I would be like, "Mom, John said he wants a pizza right now." And he would be like, "No, no, no, I swear to God." I'm like, he said if you don't get him a pizza, he's gonna fucking yell. I would love to mess with my friends like that. Isn't it fun to do
I
that?
love
Are you an
it.
annoyer? Do you like annoying people?
I
Or
I
messing with people, I should
I
say?
do.
You do, okay.
Just like my grandfather, I feel like he was a big annoyer.
Yeah. I
I'm
feel like that's a
writing.
Jewish thing too,
It's a
right?
very
Yeah.
yes. I'm writing a memoir right now
Oh,
about
nice.
my life and my grandparents and stuff, and I'm finding out a lot of stories. And the first time my mom and dad went out on a date, they were 15 years old,
Oh, wow.
and I guess
This is on your dad's side, your grandfather?
on my
On
mom's
your
side.
mom's side.
So when my dad came home, he dropped my mom off at the
Uh-huh.
door, and my grandfather was like, "Now let me smell your fingers."
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
Really?
and my dad was like, he told me like he
No
didn't
way.
finger bang my mom. Like they were 15. I think they had kissed, and he was like, "Okay, fine, smell my." And my grandpa was having a
That's
party.
like so crazy for so many reasons. Not
It's
to judge your
like
Why do you think it's crazy? I want to hear why you think it's
I think it's beautiful.
That's wow.
It's wow, and the worst part is his fingers didn't smell like vagina because he didn't
Uh-huh.
finger bang my mom. But my
Sure.
grandpa announced to the party, "They smell like pussy." And my dad said he was just like, "I never want to see this woman again."
Oh my God.
I know. Insane. Anyways, I love fucking with people. Yes. Just like
That's
grandpa.
That is funny. That's really funny. And that your dad was just like,
My dad's even worse now.
Oh, is
I
he?
think. Like I remember my dad, like his friend was on a treadmill and he
Uh-huh.
turned the whatever distance up to like the fastest.
Oh.
And she like flew off and skinned
How
her
old was
knees.
she? I
They
hope she
were
was
like
very old.
50.
Yeah.
But yeah. Do you have kids?
I do. I have 2 children.
How
I have
old are
2
they?
daughters, a 6-year-old and 11-month-old.
Oh,
So
congrats.
I'm in babyland. Thank you very much.
Are
Do you have kids
you
too, or?
I don't have
Uh-huh.
kids. There was a while where we wanted
Uh-huh.
to, and I just turned 40, so we'll see if it happens. It's looking like no, but
You never know.
never
Yeah.
know. But I did have a talk with my dad about whether I would if I had a son, whether I'd circumcise him or not. And I said I might not.
You
And
might not, sure.
my dad wept.
Your dad
And
wept.
it made me really
Like, because he
sad.
wants you to do that.
Yeah, he was like, "How could you?" And I was like, "Whoa, this is like really means a lot to
Yeah,
you."
yeah.
And I get it. And that's why I was like, maybe I don't want kids. I don't want to get
No,
into
I mean,
any of
like,
this."
that's my dad used to do that with, like, people I would date too, and he would like want them to be
Jewish?
yeah. And he's like from a different,
Yeah.
they're from just like, oh gosh.
I
But I can understand that. I would have the same. I'm like, oh, thank God I had, 2 girls. So I don't even have to like
think
deal
about
deal with that.
Peni.
Yeah, yeah.
What were you like at that
As
age?
as a baby, circumcised. As, like, at 13, like, as a kid, like,
as a coming of ager?
coming of age. I was annoying.
Uh-huh.
I let's see. I liked to make jokes and like to diffuse a situation. My dad was sort of like a tough guy.
Yeah.
And so, you know, he would he scared me. Let's just put it that way.
Interesting. What did he
And
do? You said he was a
he's a
photographer?
photographer. So like I don't want to like necessarily put it out there, but I was just like I was a little kid and I was scared of him a lot, and so I would often try to like diffuse his anger with
Uh-huh.
humor. So I was
Yes.
always like, trying to make jokes. I would make fun of my father a lot because I felt like I could control his sort of anger, like when he would get angry.
Uh-huh.
And so, like, I don't know if you remember Robin Leach. He was like, he used to have the show
Yeah, the
called
rich
The
and
Rich and Famous. So I used to
yes.
do like an impression of him, but I would say like, I'm Robin Leach and I'm with the poor and unknown. And I would make fun of my father for not having any money. And he
Oh
would
my
get so
God.
fucking pissed off because I was like, we're so poor. He's like, we're not poor. And
That's so cruel.
I know it's cruel. But it made my mom laugh. I was very short and very little and sort of uh I was really sensitive about my height. I was like 4'11" until like 10th or 11th grade. I was like
Uh-huh.
tiny.
Uh-huh.
And so I was always at the doctor, like with like growth doctors going like, is there something wrong with him? Like, why isn't he growing down there? And
Oh my
all
God.
that kind of stuff. And then I have a younger sister,
Uh-huh.
and we would argue a lot, and like also like we're really good friends, but also I would like tease her, and so I guess I don't know, there's a roundabout way of saying I was annoying. I would always try to be funny, and also I was like quiet and in like in class with my friends,
Mm-hmm.
because I was, like, self-conscious about my height,
Were
you
you
know?
popular?
I don't think I was popular. I would say, like, I was friends with all the funny, nerdy kids,
Yeah.
I was sort of, like, always, like I don't think I was, like, a nerd, but I don't think I was, like, cool at all.
Right.
I was sort of, like, in the
Under the
middle, so
rate.
yeah, under
Yeah.
the radar. I was, like I
Yeah.
always tended to, like, be friends with the funnier or, like, try to be friends with the funny
Yeah.
kids rather than the cool kids or the,
Yeah.
smart kids or
For
anything like that,
sure.
yeah.
I get
What
that.
about you? What were you like?
When I lived in Argentina up
Uh-huh.
until 12, I was like a child performer.
Oh, wow.
Um
Doing what?
I actually started at this Jewish organization. At the end of the year, we had to each put on like a talent show type thing, and I
Okay.
did a Madonna medley
Oh,
that
nice.
was pretty like blew everyone's socks off.
Wow.
Where I sang like
Is this
much
your opinion or you felt this?
I was signing autographs when I
Wow.
got off the
Okay.
stage at 11.
What
Like
what era Madonna did you do?
I did Material Girl.
Oh, okay.
With like kind of a low cut dress and like big sleeves, and like I remember like throwing like fake diamonds and
Oh, I
stuff. It
love
was
that.
pretty cute.
Yeah.
And from then on, I think my mom was like, "You have it." And so
Mothers usually don't think that about their kids.
no,
No, so that's
no.
that's
I had it and she made me. No, I fucking loved it.
yeah.
And then I just started like performing at fairs and stuff like that or whatever, and then and commercials, and then I booked like a Mickey Mouse Club type thing,
Wow, that's
which
cool.
I was like, I'm going to be famous. I
Uh-huh.
love singing and dancing, and like the next month they were like, we're moving to the United States.
Oh, shit.
It
Is that
kind
when you moved?
And that's when I moved.
Wait,
Yeah.
did that, like, spur your did that, like was that the impetus for you moving to the States?
No, the Mickey Mouse Club thing was in Argentina, so I
Okay.
turned it down. We moved to the
Oh,
States
I
because we
see.
were very poor.
Uh-huh.
Like I remember like we had to go move with my grandma,
Mm.
yeah, all of that stuff. But then I came here and it was like we don't you're not famous anymore, and it's middle school and
Right, right,
everyone
right.
hates you. So, anyways, I remember I did like a Madonna thing at a talent show here when I first got here, and I pulled a hamstring and I had to get wheeled off in a wheelchair.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So, anyways, that was the
In a
death
wheelchair?
in a
That's bad.
wheelchair.
How did that happen? You just
I did the
pulled something?
splits at the end of something, and
Oh
I couldn't
no.
get back up.
Oh my god.
So sad.
Yeah, especially at such a young age to
Yeah.
be so
Embarrassed.
yeah, that's really
So I went from signing autographs to like, like, that was it for me. What you had a bat mitzvah? I heard
I
you had
did have a bar mitzvah,
two. A
yes.
bar mitzvah.
Yes. I had 2 of them. One, my father insisted on doing at the Wailing Wall. So I had it at the
Oh
at
shit!
the Wailing Wall. So I like read the Torah there. I have my dad has 9 brothers and sisters, or had. 2 of his sisters have passed, but like he comes from a family of 9 brothers or like 10, and they each have like 5 kids, and then those have 5 kids. So I have like 250 cousins or something in Israel.
Amazing.
And so it's like they huge family, and they came to see me and, read. And so it was like that was sort of, his dream, and I wanted to do something in New York with my friends.
Mm-hmm.
And so then we did it, but since all the money was spent on this like Wailing Wall bar mitzvah, and it was then
Why is
yeah,
it
go ahead.
called the
What
Wailing Wall?
because people cry at it. I think they're weeping because the temple was destroyed.
Yeah, that's sad.
That's sad.
That's sad.
It's sad when things get destroyed.
Emotions. Yes. Explain.
And it was
really
then yeah, go ahead. What
how, do you block off a zone?
you yes, you can like reserve a zone.
Uh-huh.
I mean, this is, fucking like 60 years ago, but like you I guess reserve a zone. You're there like super early in the morning. You have to be there at a certain time, and then like they set up like a stand, and then you just do it. And then we like moved to this like Hyatt afterwards and had the party.
The difference.
Yes.
Like
And it was nice. I was very nervous, obviously, and then since we wasted, I wouldn't say wasted. So that seems really rude. Since we used all that money
The
for
resources.
that, like my bar mitzvah here, I was like, I have to do something with my friends. Like
Yeah.
they were all doing, and they did it at a deli.
Whoa.
Yeah, they did it at a deli called Shecky's in Long Island. It was
The
like
most
you had to
Jewish
like
thing.
I know. It was like you had to pass like a fucking like a glass,
Yes.
case of like deli meat to get to the dance floor. Like you had to pass by like tongue and like pastrami meat on the way.
I'm horny.
Yes, I know, right? And then yeah, so it was I still have like video of my bar mitzvah, and I'm like still tiny.
Oh
Like
my
you see me like
God.
dancing with like girls in my class, and they're like I'm
Yeah.
like up to everyone's stomach.
We were talking about how girls were like bigger at that age.
Yeah, they develop,
Yeah.
sooner, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just went to a bar mitzvah, and I was like, I could not believe the size of the girls.
The
It's just
girls?
like
Yeah.
Amazonian bombshells, and then there's like these little dweebies.
Little dweebs. Yeah.
So
Well, I'm
cute.
also like an outlier too, because it took me till like 11th grade before I had a growth spurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was disgusting.
Wait, 11th grade is eighth grade.
11th grade is 8th grade? No, explain it to me. Is this like an Argentina? Is this like in Argentina, 11th grade is 8th grade?
No, it's just stupidity.
Oh, okay.
Junior.
Junior year, yes. And 8th grade is senior year. Yeah.
I'm like
11th grade. I was a junior in high school. It was like
I see.
not good.
No, that is late.
Yeah, it's late.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, for me, I think it was like freshman year.
Freshman
the
year,
boobs started
yeah.
to come in.
Right.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was yeah, it took me a while.
So did you have a theme?
We didn't
Deli
have the money
meats.
to have the theme, so my theme was literally like just me. So
Which-
sad. I remember like everyone had like a sign-in board back then for their
Yes.
and mine just said Gilad, which is my Hebrew name.
Yes.
Gilad, and that was it.
Was
It
there a picture of you at
It was
least?
a picture of me, I think. It was like glitter. It was like me,
Always
like
glitter.
glitter. But yeah, there was no like there was no theme aside. I
That
guess you could say the deli was the
the
theme.
the I do
Shecky's.
love a cured meat theme.
Yeah,
We were
yeah,
saying,
yeah.
like, if you could pick a theme now, if you
Uh-huh.
redid it, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a good question. Oh God.
While you think, I
Yes.
earlier had said cocktails, so, like,
Oh,
there'd be,
okay.
like, the martini table, the Negroni table,
Okay.
and
Are you
everyone.
imagining that you're 13 still, or
No,
you're
I'm
you are you this age?
it's me now, but I'm coming of age now, which
Okay, so you're
I
selling your
am,
you would be celebrating your bat mitzvah as an adult,
as
you're
an
saying.
adult,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. All right, maybe you know what I would have? Going to bed early as my like theme, like at 8:30, which
That's
is something that
late!
wait, when do you go to bed?
5:30.
Get the fuck out of here. No, you
I
don't.
lay down at 5:30.
You lay down at 5:30. God bless you. I'm
I don't have
so
kids.
I know. I know. As soon as I put my kids to bed, I'm like, get me the fuck in bed. I'm like right there. And then I just sit there until I'm like fall asleep. I love getting into bed early. So I would
I
imagine making that the theme of your
That's the theme, and
yeah.
all of the,
What do you do when you get into bed? Do you just are you guys on like do you guys watch TV?
my new thing is I watch Comedy Central. There's,
Okay.
like, 5 episodes of The
That's still a
Office.
thing, right?
Yeah,
Comedy
it
Central? Yeah.
still
Okay.
is. It's live
Okay.
TV, and then maybe I'll read a couple pages, a
Okay.
little half hour of browsing on my phone,
Sure.
then I'll take my sleep lately, I've been taking sleeping pills around 8:30,
Okay.
which is, like, the time you'd be getting into
Getting into
bed,
bed, yeah.
and
So you've already lived a
I've lived
lifetime
a
by
li
the time I
in
get yeah,
bed.
in bed.
Yesterday or the day before, my husband brought me ravioli in bed.
Really?
It
Wow.
really is disgusting.
Do you guys normally eat dinner in bed?
We've been doing it way too much
Uh-huh.
lately, or me. I also like I had COVID and then I just got cozy, you
Okay. Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah.
But it's just it feels like the room is just a stench of me.
Okay.
Maybe I'm
It's
depressed.
my wife calls that bed wine, which is
Bed wine.
disgusting.
It's
Disgusting way.
disgusting.
The smell that comes
A
from
fermented body.
yeah, exactly.
Do you guys get up to fart?
It depends. It depends how bad it is, right?
I
So
see.
usually no.
Me too.
Usually no. We're pretty open with each other.
So are we.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there's times when it's just like you need to get the fuck out of here. You're like creating fucking like you're nuking the place or whatever. It's disgusting. Like you're
Yes.
burning my fucking nose. Like get the hell out of here. So yes, there are times when I'm like I actually feel bad, you know? Usually I'm like I take pride,
Uh,
you know, but then there's times where I'm like,
yeah.
yeah, I got to get the hell out of here. This is wrong.
Yeah, we
This is like morally reprehensible. It's your
it's my
body.
Jewish stomach
Yeah.
that can't digest
Well,
some
yes, I would
things.
say that between me and my wife converted, but
Oh,
between me and
cool.
my wife, I have the worst. It's me.
Sense.
Yes, scent. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's me who's
Who's rotten?
yeah, who's rotten to the core.
Are you are you bad with digestion?
I have like I recently learned that I have like a sort of an acid reflux thing. So like I I'm allergic to alcohol, and I
For
also
real.
for real, yeah, it sucks. And then like if I have also like certain foods, um, it like the acid will come up, and then I'll like just like I will get sick from certain foods. So yes, in that way, yes, I do have like some stomach
Shit,
issues.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But what about you? Do you have like
Yeah, no, definitely IBS,
uh-huh.
which like they say like
I feel like that's
Jews
everybody
have
though, right?
now
Everyone has IBS. What does that even
everyone.
mean? Is that like a real medical like
It
diagnosis you have or
To me, that's like, yes, that's
okay.
what doctors are too lazy to do tests, and
I
so
th-
they say
I genuinely
IBS.
thought that like when someone says you have IBS, it means like you smell like shit. Basically, that's what we're telling you.
To me, it's IBS is that you have a lot of diarrhea,
Okay,
and then you have a lot of constipation.
okay.
How did we get on
I
that?
once went to the hospital for being constipated.
Really?
Yeah, you want to hear that story?
Tell me
I was
immediately.
13, and I was actually in Israel for my bar
Oh,
mitzvah.
wow.
And I don't know what I ate. I think it was like fucking rice or something, like too much rice.
So sad.
So it's disgusting. But I started getting these pains at my aunt's house. I'm like, oh, you know, it hurts, it hurts. And they brought me to the hospital. The doctor thought my appendix was bursting.
Yes.
And then they took like an X-ray of my stomach.
Ooh.
And he said in Hebrew to my mother, "Humalebe kaka." Do you know what that means?
No, but I know
He's
what
full of
caca
shit.
means.
That mean literally that's what he said. He's full of shit. You could see on the fucking X-ray there was like a log of shit the size of a ruler, like in this like little like 12-year-old boy. Then I had to get like a fucking triple enema from this like nurse who I had a crush on.
Great.
She like lays you. Have you ever had an enema?
No.
Oh, it's fucking so embarrassing. It's like basically like you know, like a hamster water bottle. You know, like those water bottles
Oh
that
yeah,
hamsters
that
have.
thing drips
Yeah,
out.
they basically plug that in your ass and then just it's like the most like middle-aged technology. They just like squeeze it and then water shoots up your ass. And mine, usually it's one enema that's supposed to like dislodge your shit. It took 3 enemas. And then I ran to the bathroom and just like dropped this shit. It was just so embarrassing. And like it was terrible.
What came out?
Just just like loose pieces of shit. Just like loose shit. It was so disgusting. Anyway, that's
No.
my story, baby.
I'm so scatologic that when you tell me this, I start to salivate.
Really?
Yes, I'm very scatologic because my whole family.
What do you
is.
think that means?
I love to talk about.
Oh, you
poop.
like to talk about
yeah,
shit.
like
Yeah.
you.
I'm very comfortable with it.
Oh, I
too, yes.
love
Yes.
shitting. Not
I love
shitting.
shitting too.
I don't know why I was getting like not horny isn't the word, but
Okay.
like, excited of the thought
like
of
you would in like a video store. You're excited.
Yes,
I'm excited to be here. Yeah, I'm happy.
happiness.
Yeah, I got you.
That you were gonna tell me that a really long log.
Oh, a really
came
long
out.
like
Yeah.
those videos where you see like you know what I'm talking about? Those reels where you
That-
see like the log.
Yes, that they come out. Of
I wish it was like that. It wasn't. It was
had
like
been-
"Trrr," and then a few minutes later like "Trrr." It
you
was
just
yeah.
hit me in the heart with an
Okay.
arrow. My dad also went to the ER once because I guess he didn't fart for like 6 days.
I love that would tip him off. I would notice that too after like 4 hours. I'd be like, I need to go to the emergency room. What's going on
me
here?
too. But he waited that long.
What was wrong with him?
He was taking Vicodin for something.
Oh yeah,
they
that'll
took
fucking
something.
clog your shit up. Yeah.
So he thought he was having a heart attack, and then they were like, "No, how long has it been?" And he was like, "I haven't had a bowel movement or a fart in 6 days." And they did something to him, and he went to the bathroom. He was like, "It's coming, it's
Oh
coming."
no.
And the fart was so loud, you could hear it because like hospitals have those bathrooms that are like heavy duty.
Yes.
From down the hallway, you could hear.
You could hear him.
It was a trombone that lasted like maybe 14 seconds.
Oh my god.
And then he came
I love
out
your
and he was
dad.
like, "Let's
yeah.
go home."
Oh, that was it?
Yeah.
Wait, was it just a fart or was it? Did it?
It was
He
just
didn't.
a
Oh, it was just a
fart.
fart. Wow.
Oh my god.
That's great.
So there's
So it's in your family.
very much so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get me started because then this will be a podcast
Just
about
about
taking
shit,
a
about like
shit.
shitting yourself. Yeah.
Do you remember like getting boners and stuff?
Oh.
Sorry.
And
You-
we've moved from diarrhea to dick. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
good times.
Totally. Yeah. Yes. Good times.
Anyone in specific that like triggered them
Any person you mean?
or thing? Yeah, like
Yeah. You know.
Carmen Electra.
Oh, okay. I had a picture of. I had a lot of like. I didn't know what I was doing when I was a kid, so like, I would put like posters up in my room
Yes.
of like women from magazines because I
Yes.
thought it was cool. So like, Claudia Schiffer was my go-to.
We're the same age.
Okay, yes, we're
Because
same age.
I know Claudia Schiffer.
Schiffer,
She was
yes.
from my time.
Claudia Schiffer was huge for me.
Who married fucking David Copperfield?
Really?
You didn't know this?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, they were married.
Wow.
The magician.
Are they still together?
I doubt it.
Okay,
Is he even
yes.
alive?
He is alive.
Okay.
He's alive, but yeah, he's he's alive. But he's also weirdly dead. No, he's alive. Yeah, he's alive.
Me doing the like math
Yeah, I
in my
know.
head
What?
is
What's he
8th
talking
grade,
about?
11th grade.
He is, yeah, so I had pictures, but I didn't know like I was a late bloomer because puberty hit me so late.
Yeah.
So I was also like, I don't know what to do with my dick, like that was a lot of it until for like a lot of I would kiss girls, but I was
Okay.
never like I didn't go further
Further.
than like than that kind of stuff to like, just over the pants kind of stuff until I got to the end of high school.
Okay.
But yeah, I would put these pictures up of like my whole room was covered in like Claudia Schiffer and Public Enemy. And I
Oh
was
my
just like,
God.
this little Jewish kid. And I was just like, hey, I love Claudia. Like, I love these things that I don't understand.
I love the thought of you. I mean, not I don't love the thought of you masturbate, but you masturbating to Claudia Schiffer and then coming and seeing Public Enemy on the side.
Yes. I also had like a lot of like, ordered a lot as a kid. I was in the videotape era,
Yes.
growing up. So there was a convenience store at the end of my block, and I would always go there and buy like porn.
Oh,
Like,
pretty
I'd
good.
pretend I'd be like, here, I'll take like a Twix and also this porn. And then I remember one of the porns, would have ads in them, like
Wow.
at the end for like different products you can buy. And so I ordered this product that supposedly offered men multiple orgasms, right? So like it was like a method that you could have if you were a guy to have multiple orgasms. So
Okay.
as a kid, I ordered this cassette tape. It was like an audio tape, and basically it was like would teach you how to ejaculate without coming, essentially, or orgasm without ejaculating.
Okay.
Okay, so basically, it was a guy going, once you're about to come, you have to basically yell, right? So it was,
Stop.
I swear to God. So it would be like, "Ah!" So you would release, right? And then my mom found this tape, this cassette tape of this like guy just being like, "Ah!" And it was just like I had this like corner in my basement of like all my porn and
Oh,
all like these weird
oh,
ass tapes. I was like a little horny kid
oh.
at that age, at like
Did it
14.
work?
No, of course not.
Did you try it?
Oh yeah, I tried it. I would immediately just come right away.
What a
It
little
never worked.
goblin.
Yeah, I was a little goblin.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was disgusting. And then I would like call phone sex on my mom's line, and she was just like, I just saw the phone bill, Gil. It's
Those-
$1,000. What the fuck are you doing? I was like, oh, I thought it was a 800 number. We didn't have to pay.
What were those? Because I used
Yeah.
to call too, but I
Did
would
you? Yeah,
hang
okay.
up
You would.
because there's a threshold of where if you hung up, then
Uh-huh.
you didn't get the actual. But if you paid, what
Pay
happened?
you just get a bill for like hundreds of dollars.
But
And
like, was there a lady talk?
yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it was like a live
It was a
operator.
live operator, and sometimes it was like a party line. I don't know if you ever call those.
I would, but I would always hang up right
Yeah,
away.
I think it was like a fake way to just have phone sex. Yeah.
With like God knows who.
Who? Yeah, I don't know. And I was just like probably talking to like 50-year-olds.
And you would be, and then you
I'd
would
be like,
yell.
hey, you doing? I could have multiple orgasms, by the way.
Pretty good of you to like try to extend the pleasure.
Yeah, yeah, yes. I mean, I didn't know. I was just like, oh, well, I wasn't thinking about a partner, I would say, at that
No,
point.
not at
It was
all.
more like me just thinking about, like, I like how this feels. I want
Yes.
it a million
Yeah.
times. You know what I mean?
Same.
Yes.
There was an age, I think it was like 13, where when I discovered coming,
Uh-huh.
more than masturbating, like I had this like little teddy bear that was shaped perfectly
Okay.
for me to like lay on top of it and
Right,
hump
right,
it.
right.
And I would bring the teddy bear with me everywhere.
Did it have a name? Was this your, like,
No,
actual?
but you know what? It was a wow. It was a Jewish teddy bear that had it had a blue
What does that mean? It was a Jewish teddy bear.
because it had the Torah.
Oh,
Oh
no.
my God.
Oh, gosh.
Jesus.
It had the Torah on it?
It had a heart, a blue heart,
Huh.
and then a drawing of the Torah in the heart.
Oh, my God. Blasphemy.
Re- and I think that's the part that
That's
would like
hilarious.
hit against my clit.
That's so funny. Oh, my God.
but I would bring that teddy.
Uh-huh.
You know what? I wish I still had it. That shit
Yeah.
felt good. But I would bring it with me everywhere. And I remember going to Las Vegas with my
Uh-huh.
family one year and bringing the teddy and laying in bed with my dad
Uh-oh.
while he was watching TV
Uh-huh.
and fully masturbating.
Oh,
I
wow.
was like 14.
Was
so
he
like
aware?
he
He
was
was not
never
aware.
aware.
Oh my
I
God.
was quiet and a pro, like you.
Oh my God.
I mean, I was the opposite of you. Instead
Yeah.
of creaming. Instead of screaming.
Oh my God. That's crazy. Yeah. I mean, like,
God.
I mean, I was my no. I mean, when you're doing it as a, you're not really thinking about like who's upstairs or in the other room. You're just like, okay,
No.
I'm just,
Yeah.
yeah. You're just like a kid.
checking
You're just, yeah, like a crazy kid. Yeah.
I really am glad those days are over.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think like I did so much masturbating during those years that like
Uh-huh.
I have no juice left in me anymore.
Yes. Yeah. No, that's how I was just
Yeah.
like, yeah,
And
whatever
now
my
we're
body
just
wanted.
yeah.
Yeah.
And now we
And
just
now I'm just
rip
go to
'em.
sleep at 8:30 and
Yes.
fucking shit in my bed, essentially. That's
But marriage is beautiful.
it
I
is. It's
do love
gorgeous.
it.
How long have you been married?
We've been married for 5 years, but
Oh,
together
cool.
since 2009.
Great. I was with met my wife in 2008 and we got married in 2015. So
Okay, like
essentially the
pretty
same.
much the
Yeah.
same. We it was around the time Michael Jackson died that we
Oh,
got
okay.
together. And
That's what you
probably you
remember.
too,
Yeah. Yeah. It was like
right?
right, a year before Michael Jackson died. I
Yeah.
always say like how far away and close is this to Michael
To the
Jackson's
death.
death? Yeah.
Remember everyone was listening to his music like nonstop
Nonstop.
around the time.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, he's dead.
Yeah, he's dead. I still listen to
I do too.
okay.
My friend has a bad tattoo that he got removed.
Of
It says bad like in Michael
oh,
Jackson.
an actual bad. I thought you meant it's a bad tattoo. That oh my God, that's the Michael Jackson song he chose to put on his arm.
Like-
Bad, where he's like trying to act like he's super tough.
He was tough
He was tough. He was in a subway for Christ's sake
with little knives.
with little knives and Wesley Snipes and oh my God.
I want to ask you this before we wrap.
Okay.
If you could go back to little Gil
Yes.
and tell him something.
Oh gosh.
It's a cheesy question.
Yes. No, it's also I like the question. It's not a cheesy question. I like cheesy questions.
I'm
anyway.
a cheese. Yeah.
What would I tell? What
Yeah,
like
what
in
would you
terms of
tell
like
him?
advice?
Yeah,
Oh.
advice or like maybe you want the winning lotto numbers. I
I
don't
would
know.
say I'm gonna give you a cheesy answer to
Yes.
the cheesy question, which is to tell myself to love myself,
Yes.
and to not feel so bad, and to sort of lean into the things that make me unique, and to go easy on myself, and
Mhm.
also my mom and my sister too.
Cute.
Yeah,
Very cute.
yeah.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
Well,
When my parents got divorced at like 14, like right around this time.
aw,
And so I was like an angry kid back then.
that's
you know?
too much though. It's like puberty.
It was a lot
Your
all at once. Yeah, it
parents.
was a lot all at once. Yeah.
Wait, I have one.
I take no responsibility for what I did. at
Yeah,
the
it
time.
wasn't. There's a lot of people I've been interviewing that
Uh-huh.
told me that their parents got divorced around the time of their bar or bat
Bat
mitzvah.
mitzvah.
It's
Yeah,
just
it was
like
the
people
same,
who-
almost this like a few months after.
Well, thank you so much for being
Thank you for
here.
having me. This was a
Um,
delightful conversation.
It really was.
Yeah.
I would love to have Shabbat dinners.
Yeah.
If you ever have one, call us up.
Oh, we will soon. Sure,
We'll show
certainly.
up with some devil days.
Okay, yeah. And we'll all, get into bed at like 6:30, I think.
And rip one.
And rip one. Yeah, that would be super fun.
Where can people find you?
I'm
How far?
at Gil Ozeri on social media. So, yeah, just
Okay.
at your normal
You're not-
places. Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Happy
This was so
Saturday.
sweet. Happy Saturday to you.
Okay, thanks.